Job's done.
Hello fellow nerds and welcome back to another video. I am making a series of videos based off of the class and spec changes that I feel like we need going into Battle for Azeroth. A big part of where this is coming from is the fact that I have seen a lot of changes going up on the alpha that I've seen on MMO Champion, and a lot of the changes have really concerned me going forward into Battle for Azeroth. I do remember Blizzard making some kind of post of their philosophy with their class changes going into the expansion, but I'm pretty low myself. I've made a crap ton of posts on forums. Other people have voiced their concerns, and it feels like the devs of Blizzard have not really been listening to anything that we're saying. So I'm going to make a little bit of video and talk about like what I feel like that we need with class changes going into the next expansion. And quite honestly, I would really suggest that we as a group, we as people that play WoW, need to make a firm stand and not support the devs that are ruining the classes in the World of Warcraft, because the heart of the game comes from the classes that you play and the abilities that you use and how well that you can actually use those abilities. And I feel it very strongly that if we're going to be getting empty shells of classes and specs of what once were, I do not feel that Blizzard deserves to have our subscriptions. I do not feel that Blizzard deserves to have our money being thrown at them anymore, because I kind of just dealt with it in Legion myself, but I'm fed up. And after seeing the build up on the alpha, it seems like it's just seeming like they don't really understand what the fuck we want, and it's becoming very frustrating. So I'm going to stop talking now, and we're going to get into the video and talking about what I want. Okay, so the first one we're going to talk about is Arcane. Now, I actually initially was not going to mention a whole lot about Arcane, but after going through some of my old footage of me playing Arcane, like back in WoD, as I'm showing you now, I realized that there's just something missing in the rotation. Something that kind of plays a part in the main rotation. A good portion of WoD, we had the Arcane Crystal that we had to set down and attack that in order to do massive amounts of damage, right? I didn't really like the WoD iteration of Mage, really, because of that Arcane Crystal, but kind of looking back on it now, just watching this video, the nostalgia that it kind of brings, it makes me realize that I actually liked the iteration of Arcane better in WoD than I do with Legion. And I can't exactly put my finger on it, but it just feels like there's something about the core rotation that's just missing. But that's just me. I mean, if I were to pick one change that I want, that I want to be done, like I actually kind of prefer the old Rune of Power, at least in Warlords of Draenor, compared to now, because you use it now when it's kind of like a short burst duration instead of just setting it in two different spots and pew-pewing and running around doing all that kind of shit. So that's my Arcane thoughts. Let me know what you think. I have one huge gripe when it comes to fire. The fact that I go on almost any single fight. And like I know that Blizzard kind of reduced the amount of mana, the mana cost a lot of the spells. I believe it was in 7.2 or some shit, but it wasn't enough. Like I actually remember trying to progress in Antorus Burning Throne as fire, and I ended up going again, and I just decided to say fuck it and go play Frost until I got my 4 set, and I magically got the legendary legs to play Arcane. So I've just been playing Arcane the whole rest of the tier. And one main issue that I have, like not to really get sidetracked, it actually kind of plays a big part in why I have a huge problem with the mana consumption in Fire, is because Fire is my favorite spec to play. And the fact that the mana issues with Fire, it forced me to use Meteor pretty much the whole entire expansion, because I ran out of mana. Like I had to put in some kind of other ability to reduce the to eliminate the fact that I would end up going by the end of the fight. And I really wanted to use the talent that would actually that would reduce the CD of combustion every time I crit with Pyroblast and shit. But I haven't been able to, right? Like that's my favorite talent, but I haven't been able to because I end up going The other thing I really want to see back with fire is I want Living Bomb to be baseline. I don't want it to be a talent anymore. There are a lot of talents that have been taken away, or not talents. No, there have just been a lot of abilities that have been taken away and thrown up on the talent tree, and it just feels like I guess I can't really get very erotic on YouTube, but let's just say it's just a slap in the face. Try to picture other things. So that's my thoughts on fire. Let's go to Frost. Okay, so Frost. There's not really a whole lot that I would like to personally change about Frost. I feel like it's a pretty complete spec. Like, it feels pretty good, pretty smooth to play. Although there's one issue that I have, and that is with Flurry. And I'm not going to lie, I'm going to go ahead and put this out on the internet. I was one of the many noobs, or idiots, or baddies, or whatever the hell you want to call me. I actually didn't realize for most of the expansion, probably 3/4 of it at least so far, that after you press Flurry, you're supposed to press an unprocced Ice Lance, because the Ice Lance end up doing damage as if it were procced, right? I didn't know this for the longest time, and my DPS kind of struggled a little bit. Like, I was just a little tiny bit behind every other every other person that was about as geared as I was, and I didn't really know why. And I was actually talking to a guildie of mine that I've taught a lot to about how to play a mage, and he actually ended up teaching me what he recently learned about what I just mentioned. And I felt like a friggin' idiot. Like, I felt dumb. Like, it wasn't very obvious. Like, I remember actually reading the tooltip on what Flurry does as soon as you cast it. I'm like, okay, what the fuck does this even mean? Like, I didn't even think about it. Like, I thought maybe you did have to press an Ice Lance, but I was like, wow, that's so weird. Why would you press an Ice Lance unprocced after Flurry? Like, that's just dumb. Like, it doesn't really feel like it adds a lot of flavor to the spec. It's just dumb, for lack of other intelligent words to use. It's just dumb. Like, that's about all I have to say about Frost. So I'd like it to be a little bit better. I kind of want I kind of want Frost Firebolt back, and the way that Flurry procced, like, I kind of wish it procced from kind of different sources, but with the current abilities given to Frost, it doesn't really feel like it would make sense for it to proc any other way, but I would like there to be. So yeah, that's my thoughts on Frost, and that's my thoughts on Mage. So feel free to like this video if you liked it, and subscribe to my channel. And I'm just going to go ahead and say that, like, I've made a lot of videos, close to 200 or something. If I get anywhere close to, I'm just going to say, if I get 1,000 subs, if I get 1,000, I will buy a webcam and I will start making videos with my face. So y'all can see my pretty face and my dorky little glasses. So yeah, thanks for watching the video. And of course, y'all have a great day.